Hi, it's Michael from California Travel Videos, and today, well, we're inside. Yes, I'm going to be taking a look at a new drone. The Mavic came out. Oh, that was my beloved pet there. So yeah, that's been a good machine. I've really enjoyed it. It's been solid, reliable, collapses to almost nothing. You know, the first one, you had a suitcase. People wondered if you had like nuclear codes in a big box. There was a 20-30 pound box. Now they have a new one. What's the new boy in town? Another Mavic, and this one is called the Air, the Mavic Air model. It's smaller. It has some very nice features in terms of, well, doing multiple sequences from the sky of photos. You know, it used to be you would have to take a lot of series if you wanted to get something more than just one picture, but to make them in a matrix. Okay, let's look at an excellent demo by Dragon 7. On the right-hand side, we're going to click on the symbol there, then up to Photos, and next to the Pano series, it'll give us an example of what a Pano series stitch would look like. You can get a sphere, 34 shots. This one's going to be a 7x3, 21, vertical 1x3, or 3x3 horizontal. And next we're going to click on the Start button for the photos, and it's going to start clicking away. So it'll go down by 3 and then to the left, 7 across. When we get through, we're going to have 21 photos, and software magic will start soon. We're next going to click on the lower right where we start to look at the photos. It starts the stitching process, and after a couple of minutes, look at that. We have a beautiful finished photo, 7x3, all done. Voila! So let's go ahead and open it up and see what is inside. I'm kind of curious. And this is the white. I think they're all fine. If you like the black or the red, go for it. But yeah, they've got all sorts of different colors these days. Kind of getting to be like the Apple scheme, I think. Okay, well, inside of it. Well, let's see how it compares with the Mavic. Well, first of all, it looks like we've got our drone here, or if you will, if you're the FCC type, this is the unmanned aerial vehicle or unmanned aerial system. And inside of it, there's our little baby. Now look at that compared to the other one. Wow. Isn't that something amazing, a difference in size? Now, this one, the props collapsed up quite nicely. And this fella here, they don't have quite the same configuration, but similar. And you can see that it folds out somewhat similarly. And there it is. Doesn't have the split props like they did on this one. It's all just one solid prop. That's fine. They do still have the snap-ons. This one, when you want to put the legs down, you've got this little deal there, which is nice to make it smaller. And oh, by the way, these are also antennas, so you don't want to, like, leave them up, or you're not going to have very good reception, because this is for the Wi-Fi. And oh, by the way, it does just use that Wi-Fi band, so the range isn't going to be as long. This one, if you could get to 4 or 5 miles if you're brave, how do you do that and keep it in line of sight, which the FAA requires in the United States? I don't know. But some people like to fly them out longer than they maybe ought to. This one, if you get a couple miles out, that's about it. This one, you might get 23 to 25 minutes on the battery. This one, they say 21, but that's optimum condition. It'd probably figure about 17, 18. You better start heading for home. So at any rate, okay, that's a little bit about what it looks like. Let's see what else is in the box. Now, this is the Fly More package. I normally like to get those. And there is a downside when they just come out like this, and that is that extra batteries. The factory isn't producing them that fast. So if you want to get your drone quick to be the first one out there, just buy just a standard package. Don't get the Fly More with the extra batteries and extra props and accessories, because it's going to take longer. You might wait a couple weeks, might wait a month or more. Okay, so else in the box, we've got a lot of goodies in here. I can feel it's heavy. In fact, it's heavier than the Mavic Air by quite a bit. And it looks like it's got a little zipper pocket here. And in it, we have our series of boxes. Oh boy, oh boy. So yeah, it's nice packaging that they do on these. And I can see here's a couple sets of props in this little guy. We'll set that off to the side for now. Our controller, you see the difference in the controller? Let me show you the other one. Our Mavic controller Aha! Yeah, you had a screen on it there. This one, sorry, no screen. It's kind of more like that smaller Spark series. It's a little bit bigger than that. Has more buttons and controls on it. You once again have the, I guess, they've got so much pieces of plastic on it. I'm going to have to take these off in a moment. But here's our antennas for the controller. And this is going to flip out. Once I take this piece off there, does it have any instructions that are important? Not too much. So yeah, that's where that cradles out, and whether you've got an Android phone or a iPhone, it looks like it's the default is set for an iPhone because I see a little lightning cable there. But we're going to go ahead and put in our iPhone in a little bit. But the jaws, they open up quite a bit. So if you wanted to put a iPad there, I don't think you get the 12-inch Pro, but I think my one that's a little over 10 inches, that fits in there if you get it in the right orientation. So, you see this? Yeah, we don't have any joystick controls there. Well, we do, but they put them down underneath it here so that they get out of the way. And they are going to have an extra set in there. Thank goodness for that, because yeah, if you lose one, you don't want to be stuck out of the water, so to speak. So that's a cute little way to go. So it doesn't take too long to put them on and off, I guess. But I got to say, it does have a nice solid feel on it there. So it's not like it's a plasticky feeling. Yeah, this part is, but you know, it just, with these joystick controllers and the mechanism, it's got a nice feel to it. It's not sloppy or anything like that. So you've got your typical, you know, record the video, take an individual shot over here. You've got your return to home, and rather than on the side, if you want to go into rather the slower attitude mode, you want to go into the sport mode to go faster, up to 40 miles an hour. Not quite as fast, I don't think, as the other, but pretty close. And it's supposed to handle very well in the wind, which is kind of amazing for a small little guy. But yeah, and there is our USB controller. And I think that covers most of it. Oh, you've got your gimbal control, of course, over here. Your extra function switch there, as well as this function switch here. So we'll talk about setting those up in a little bit. And wait, there's more. Okay, this looks like the parts for, I like the way that fits in there for the power supply. It's got a nice little compact. It's much smaller than it is on the Mavic. The Mavic, yeah, it'd be very easy to forget it because, you know, everything goes in kind of the Mavic bag, but it doesn't fit the power equipment. Where this one, the power equipment, everything, it just fits right in with the rest of it. So that's nice. So we are going to have to charge up our batteries. Why is that? Well, at least the one that you're going to be operating on, you'd want to have it fully charged before you get started, because likely we're going to have to do some software upgrades before we make our first flight, and that's always a good idea. Some of you may think, well, but what if there's some glitches on one of the software versions? They normally get them fixed in a day or two. But yeah, we're going to go ahead first time out, I think, be sure we get it refreshed to the most current software version. So that requires the battery to be pretty full before you do that, because it may take a while depending upon how much time it needs. Another part for the charging. And, oh, these are so cute. Look at these little guys. The Mavic Air has such nice, cute, petite batteries. Like 2,900 milliamps, that's 2.9 amps. Whereas our Mavic, you know, they used to be, they were about 50-some hundred. I don't remember how many milliamps this is, but you can see it's significantly bigger. So, surprisingly, though, it gets about as much distance in time. And the reason, because it's so light. You know, those were about 2 pounds each. This is, I think it's just under a pound. So, you know, if we can get them to half a pound, right? The FAA says if it's 0.55 pounds or less, but if it's less than that, then you don't have to have any registration. So, yeah, I did have a registration, or do, I should say, with my FAA number on that. You don't have to have it where it's visible, but I like to keep it out there, and also have a reward if found. so that if something should happen, I have a flyaway condition if there's some kind of a software glitch. It's nice. Somebody can give it back to you. And if there's, obviously we want to be responsible drone pilots also. Oh, well, there is one more thing here. I thought this was just the end of the box. But yeah, there's one more box in here, and this is not my favorite item, but for some people this is very good. You know, if you don't want to be a tree eater, you may want to put on the prop guards. It used to be on the earlier models. This was more of a liability unless you really needed them. Could cause some vortexes sometimes with the air currents, and it could cause some bad things, causing crashes, but they've got them so light and well done. DJI, you got to give them credit for that. So yeah, if you're a beginner and you have a propensity to maybe run into things and bang up your props, especially if you don't have the Fly More package and have extra props, but you know, if they do get damaged, so you may want to file them or put a piece of Scotch tape on them. I don't know. Is it really worth an accident and some bad things happening? I don't think so. But like I say, if you fly carefully, stay away from trees and buildings and things, which you should always anyway, then yeah, you maybe just don't want to put those on. You want to be with the big boys, don't want to go with your training wheels. And look at all these nice packages here.
The Fly More combo, the quick start, the disclaimers for safety. Oh sure, the lawyers get their pound of flesh in there. Intelligent batteries, propeller guards, battery to power bank adapters, battery charging hub, and most of these are kind of warnings, aren't they? So
I just recommend just going down to the DJI website and take a look. First off, you know, search for the manual for the DJI Air. Go through that, and there will be a link on, I don't know, about the third or fourth page it is, that says where to go online to be able to start taking a look at downloading the software. Click on that and download all the manuals, put them in a folder on your desktop or wherever you want to. But the main one is just the manual, the primary manual. You can look at the quick start if you want to. But that will be your friend in terms of what we're going to do next. Okay, here we go. Okay, so first up, we're going to take a look at our batteries, getting them charged up, because they seem to be deader than a doornail, as they say. Yeah, you normally push it and then hold it down, but no, apparently the new strategy is they last just as long by shipping them empty. You know, the strategy on other LiPos is that always keep some charge in them, but I guess maybe these, that they've got the chemistry so that it doesn't hurt it. One thing I find that's interesting is that on the Mavics you could put in the battery charger either way. It was not keyed, you know, in other words, the voltages on the pins, it didn't matter. They had it with symmetry, so it could go either way. This one, though, I see it's got like a little notch right here, and the notch has got to go towards the groove that's towards the inside to fit in there. It goes on like that. Now, yeah, you can just do one battery, and you can see it starting to charge. But I think what we're going to do is charge them all up at the same time. So let's go ahead and open this little piece out there. It looks like, hey, we've got a little drone here, don't we? So there should be some spot where we hook in the power adapter. Oh, there it is. And I can see there's no doubt about that, which way it's going to go. And then, okay, you can get up to 4 of them hooked up. And as I said, it looks like it's going to be easy to figure out which way these go. So we can get both of those going on. Or we can be a little bit even more greedy, and we can do all 3 at the same time. Says there in fine print that it goes in. There she goes. Okay, and so the third one, remember, we turn it upside down, we slide it, and we lift it out, and voila, we are good to go. And so we're going to go ahead and put those on. Now, one thing that I will say is that, oh, it'll do all 3 at the same time? Well, sort of. It doesn't really do all. It stages one, and then it does the second, and then it does a third. So the good news is you don't have to be there waiting and know when it's finished and then do the third one. But we'll go ahead and do those, and I'll be back once we get that done. Pop it up over on the side. The battery comes out, snaps back in. Be sure on this one I see they've got a little red there, so when it locks in place, you don't see the red. Red is not a good sign. So, you know, on the old days with the Phantom 1s and Phantom 2s, you could have the battery wouldn't be in all the way in the carriage, and next you know, it flies away. And the video, you see the battery going ahead of you and the drone's flopping down beside. So yeah, they've got them so they lock in very good, and that's an excellent safety feature. So here we've got sensors in the front, sensors on the bottom, and this one, sensors in the back also. Ooh, still none on the sides, but yeah, if you are backing up and you do have it in the normal ADI mode rather than the sports mode, the sensors are all working, and so yeah, you can save backing up into something. I don't like to normally get too close behind. But this one, I guess, yeah, you could if you trust the sensor systems. Obviously, though, if it's something like a wire, you know, like a high voltage wire or something like that, you can whack them. But I guess you could with the front also. So, yeah, you do want to be keeping mindful what's there. It does have a cover on the front of it there for the gimbal, and so it looks like that squeezes to get it out. We'll do that in a little bit. So, anything else in the box? No, I think that's it. But there's one thing that's a nice deal, and that is that it has this very generous area over in the sides. So it's almost like that could be your purse or something. I don't know why they have so much area, but you know, it doesn't take up a lot of space when you don't need it, so why not? So, but look at that. Nice, generous pouch on the side there. You can certainly put your cell phone if you want to do, or you know, some of your extra things to have along with you. I love the fact that the batteries go in. You don't get on the road, maybe on a plane trip, and all of a sudden you get your destination and oh, I forgot the battery charger. So, okay, we'll be back in a little minute and just get it started, and we'll see where we're at in terms of getting the batteries charged up and see where we're at next. So far so good. It looks like this is going to be fun.
Have you been to California, seen the sights and people there?